Ladies and gentlemen, it's the moment you've been waiting for. It's a conversation that must be had today and not tomorrow. Welcome to another episode of I'm Listening, I'm Ready with your host, Andrew E. Guy. Let's talk about it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you are welcome. You are here for the show, for the podcast, for people that are on the go. What is it called? I am listening. And I am ready with your host, Andrew E. Guy. Now, listen, I really can't even sit on my chair right now because the guest that I have right now, she is bringing so much knowledge. She's bringing so much wisdom. If you are in the media business, if there's some things you want to learn about media, whether it's social media or direct media, print media, video media, it doesn't matter. This young lady is about to flip your wig. Hope you're not wearing one right now, but let me tell you something. I am excited. I'm really, really excited. Now, there is a more detailed introduction about who she is and what she does, but it's so much better when somebody tell you who they are. And I'm going to give her that opportunity to do that. I'm going to allow my guests to really introduce themselves. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome our guest, my friend from out there of the greater Memphis area, Miss DeQuanda T. Smith.
Well, hello, everyone. My name is DeQuanda. I am a native West Memphian. I am in the Memphis area. I am operating in the area of media broadcast as well as sales. I'm excited to be a connector of people and opportunity. I'm very excited to be able to deliver solutions on a high level, and I'm excited to be here today.
All right. So I know you kind of didn't give them the big deal about all the accomplishments and so forth. I know you're just being really modest, but that's all right. That's all right. We'll dig a little deeper as we go into this interview because people need to know. People need to know who we're talking about, right? So, Laquan, I want to start off by just talking about a little bit more about yourself and your background and so forth, because we're talking about on this podcast it's about making your move and leaving your
Right.
mark.
Right.
Part of this is part of the chapter that's in my upcoming book called Creating Your Greatest Impact, right? And
Uh-huh.
what we're looking at as an impact, people don't understand it exactly what impact really is. So part of this is explained in the book, right? But when we're
Mhm.
talking about you're saying that you're bringing people together. What does that mean? What does that mean? Help me understand that. Help us understand
So I have a 20-year media background, and I worked in broadcast television where I managed a sales team. And so part of my charge was finding solutions for customers, whether it be advertising or elevating their brand or
that.
awareness or those sorts of things. Well, in going out and talking to all of these companies and these business owners, the need always came up about why do we always broadcast and talk about the news, the negative things? We don't want our brand associated with that.
Nice.
So I decided, well, gosh, I've got to come up with a way to be able to satisfy and answer their needs. I've got to come up with an answer to a problem that they're seeing. And so after time went by, I just brainstormed and brainstormed. What could that answer be? I'm hearing them say what they need and what they want. How can I answer that? So I decided to create a program, a television show called Memphians on the Move.
Wow.
And so I executive produced this show, and this show would platform all of the positive things about our city, all of the things that make us change agents in the market,
Wonderful.
more so than just broadcasting the overnight happenings. There's
Right,
more
right,
things that we could celebrate
right.
by way of broadcast. And so that's how my show came about, Memphians on the Move. And so I've been broadcasting this show now for a little over 2 years. We celebrate people and companies that contribute to the economic growth of our area.
Right.
And these are non-traditional type advertisers. These are people that don't usually put their stories in the forefront. Well, now they have this safe haven. They have a
Right.
platform where they can come on and speak about how they're impacting the economy, how they're providing jobs in our area, affordable housing, equitable alliances and joint venture opportunities for
Wonderful.
minorities and women and all of these things. So that's how I decided to become a change agent in my market. And I know so often people talk about, how can I find my purpose? What's my purpose? What am I supposed to do?
Right, right.
And I think if we just sit back and say, how can I help someone else?
Ah,
Then your purpose will start to come to fruition.
I
So
love
the
it.
more people you can help, the bigger your purpose and the more prevalent your purpose becomes. And then you'll see your purpose is not only to, benefit yourself, it's really to be a change agent to help someone else,
Wow.
you know.
Miss Smith, this powerful conversation. It's already powerful. You know, we have got to do a part two. I'm already telling you already. This has got to be a part two to this. But when you're talking about buzzwords or keywords that I am very much familiar with, are you familiar with Miles Monroe from NASA, Bahamas?
No, I'm not. Tell me
Oh,
more.
see, he came up with this, coined the term change agent, right?
Okay.
Nassau, Bahamas. This is where my wife is from, and Dr. Miles Monroe, basically, he started this movement of the kingdom message in Nassau, Bahamas. There are many people that were talking about the kingdom previously, but he broke it down and make it a practical application that you can actually live. And he said that it is to transform followers into leaders and leaders into agents of change, right?
Yes.
And he said that we're all part of this change. We're all agent. And just like the scriptures, you're a spiritual filled person. It said every joint supplies. So
Mm-hmm.
if only some joints are being featured, then it seems as if only a few of them exist. You see what I'm saying? So when you're talking about giving people a voice, when you're talking about giving people an opportunity to be seen so they can come to the table and say, listen, there's a big problem, and the problem that we see affects all of us.
Right.
I can see how I can fit in this part. I can fit here. I can fill this. So now people are becoming solutionists instead of becoming part of the problem.
Problem. That's
Because
right.
a person who's a solutionist basically is an entrepreneur at work,
Mhm.
because that's
Mhm.
what we do. We find a problem and then we said, how can we fix that?
Fix it.
You know what I
That's
mean?
right.
And that's what we do. So I'm excited, ladies and gentlemen. Listen, if you're just joining me for the first time, this is Andrew Guy with Ilir-Podcast. I'm listening. I am ready. Listen, my guest just started. She just came right out off the gates and she's throwing down already. Listen, listen, man. Stay tuned. It's going to be real. I am so excited about what she's doing. She's talking about agents of change. She's talking about purpose. When I think about purpose, I think about the book, The Anatomy of the Kingdom. It said exchanging religion for a life of function and purpose. Now, purpose. Do you know yours? I mean, if you don't know your purpose, then you're really just existing. You see what I'm saying? So I am so glad we're having this conversation here. Now, when we talk about, the atmosphere in Memphis, I mean, there's COVID, all of these things are happening right now. How are you guys, handling COVID right now? How are you guys dealing with that?
Well, it's not an easy thing. I mean, we're paying attention to the CDC guidelines. We're
Right,
watching the news. We're watching the health reports. We're staying alert, and on top of that, we're wearing our masks,
right,
and we're trying to minimize the amount of exposure by going different places.
right,
Keeping that to the necessities and just the grocery stores, things like that, where we need
correct.
to go. I'm blessed to have the opportunity to work remotely.
Yes,
And there's so much going on in the schools in our areas that, I'm also blessed that I was given an option to choose for my
right.
daughter to do the virtual learning when school
Wonderful.
starts back. It's a lot going on. And we're trying to encourage our young people to just have a little patience,
Right.
because kids are a little bit different, especially
Correct.
teenagers.
Correct.
So that's our main concern in this area, is keeping the kids, okay, in a good space, because they have so
Right.
much idle time now.
Right.
But we're encouraging people, please wear your masks.
Right.
If that mask makes the difference in life or death,
Correct.
sickness or health,
Correct.
please, it's a simple thing. You have to wear your mask, and you have to stay informed. You've got to
That's
stay
right.
informed about what's happening and how this virus is changing.
I believe that because, the word says, without knowledge, the people perish, right? And there are a
Yes.
lot of people going out there, and I'm speaking to people of the faith-based community right now. Listen, don't tell me you're just going to pray and lay hands. Do be
Right.
a doer. Okay,
Do
don't
it.
just
Be
go,
it
I'm going
yours.
to lay hands and everything's going to be fine. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
If you went out there and you caught the COVID or you get exposed to someone else, yes, prayer works, but
Mm-hmm.
don't frustrate the grace of God by going out there and put yourself in harm's way. Does that make sense?
That's it. That's
So
absolutely right.
protect yourself and use wisdom every single day. All right. And that's our shout out for helping you to stay safe. All right. So we're going to jump right into our session today. We're going to jump right into our session. We'll start off with our first question. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're joining me for the first time, I'm with Miss DeQuanda T. Smith, media specialist, producer, just about a smart individual that you have got to get to know. And this is what the show is about, trying to get you to see that there are many joints and there's so many people are doing so many different things, but how can we get connected with them so you can see what they are also doing, because you might not see most of these people on mainstream media. We're trying to bring that to you. All right. So that's what we're talking about. So today, wanted to ask you the first question. It says, when we look at what's happening in the past, and I'm going to bring up a little racial tension here to figure out what's your mindset on this, right? When we look at what is happening from Martin Luther King, from Selma, Malcolm X, and all the, should I say, the freedom fighters. I'm originally from Jamaica, right? I didn't really get to learn more about racism than when I came to this part of North America. We don't have that kind of issue in the Caribbean, so to speak, right? I mean, at least as far as I'm concerned, we didn't really undergo the issues of, okay, fine, the white man or the man owes me, right?
Mm-hmm.
We were taught that you have a skill set, develop your skills and your gift, and guess what? Your gift will make way for you. Does that make sense? Right?
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
when I came to Canada and then went to school in the United States, I'm now exposed to all of these different things, which I'm not aware of. I wasn't aware of. I didn't know there was a such thing as the man, you know. I didn't understand that there was, you know, my color was an issue, because where I'm from, you know, I'm taught black is beauty. You know what I'm saying? I should celebrate my color. And my creator knows more than I do, because he's multicultural, because my skin may be a different paint color, but don't let me get smiling because the eyebrows will pop out, right? And so if he hates the black, then he should hate the white. But we are a mixture of this creative being expressed in his image, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I said all of that to say this. When it comes to racial tension, what advice do you have for the youth that are coming up? Since we're talking earlier on about students and so forth, and the kids may have an extended time period, wait time on their hand right now. What can you say to them to help them going back into the school, whether parents choose not to send them back or do virtual? What advice do you have for them when it comes to this racial tension? How should they see themselves moving forward in light of COVID? That's number one. And in light of who they are as an individual. Take it away.
So they should see themselves first as not less than. They should also see themselves as important. They do have a voice. And there's also a way to exercise their voices.
Right.
Everything does not have to be in aggression form. You can have a friendly, healthy debate or disagreement with someone.
Correct.
And still be okay. If you're in a situation where you feel like you cannot control your emotions, where you feel that sort of heat coming within you, then I would say, you know, speak to someone that's an authority figure.
Correct.
You know, make sure you keep the lines of communication open with your parents, because your parents are your frontline leaders. That's what you take your shield and your armor from when you leave home every day.
Correct.
So speak to your parents, speak to your family, speak to your administrators at your school. If you feel like, you know, there's any type of bullying situations going on, don't just hold that in.
Right.
It's okay to open up and talk, because you do have a voice, and your voice is going to be the voice of our future, right?
Correct.
So we need for you to be communicators. We need for you to be engaged. We need to talk these things out. We need to, you know, pull together small groups if that's what you need.
Yes.
We need to do what's necessary as parents and as leaders of these kids to provide a space where they're comfortable. We have to meet them where they are.
Correct.
And we have to provide that safe space for them to be able to communicate and speak to us, because so often kids become introverts. You know,
Yes.
they'll hold it in, and then
Yes.
before you know it, it comes out the wrong way
Oh,
or the wrong action.
you are
So
so
we've
right.
got to be sure that we provide a safe space for them to be able to use their own words,
Right.
not ours,
Right.
to be able to speak freely and comfortably, so that we can receive not so much as the word choice, but so that we can receive the message behind their word
Correct,
choices,
correct.
right? Because they're not, they haven't had all of these trainings and
Yes.
degrees and all this stuff that we have. So we
Right.
have to meet them where they are
Right.
and respect where they are, so that we can help them.
Correct.
Because the main thing is keeping that line of communication open when it comes to these young people.
I love what you're saying. The reason why I asked you that first question is because I am also a certified science teacher, and I taught in North Jacksonville, Florida for several years. That's where I retired from before I moved back up here to Canada.
Okay.
And what I have learned basically, and I also did a bit of training for teachers where we talk about PED, professional development. So my focus was helping them to understand that what's in front of you is the direct future.
Mhm.
I'm working on a book for teachers right now, as a matter of fact, probably come out sometime next year. And
Mhm.
part of my concern was knowing where to sit as a new teacher when you come into the building or you get hired onto an organization or something like that. I think that for new teachers, sitting in the lunchroom may not be the best place to sit. Why?
Mhm.
Because you may have some negative vibes that are happening in the actual lunchroom from the seasoned teachers, so to speak. And some would be there, especially the ones who are 15 and 20 years out. Okay,
Right.
I'm
Right.
waiting to get out of here, baby. Let me tell you, child. And that's going southern now. Let me tell you,
Yeah.
I'm just, I can't stand so and so, right? And I would hear that, and I started thinking to myself, why did I get into this business anyway? If you're thinking that about the child, I say, oh, it's time to go back in the classroom, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And to facilitate what you were talking about when it comes to the message and young people. That's why I brought that up, because I can vouch for that experience being in the classroom, a direct contact with the students, that they are our future, and however we treat them will be the result of what we receive in the future. I tell the
That's right.
teachers, I said, your pension plan will not protect you, but the students in front of you will be the pension plan that you can bank on every single day. Invest in them.
Absolutely.
And that's kind of what
Absolutely.
I want to make sure. So teachers, if you're out there, if you're listening, and if you're ready, I want to encourage you, make sure you're sowing good seeds in the hearts and in the minds of these young ones that are in front of you, because that's your only opportunity to positively impact the future. The future is in your reach. Make
That's
sure
right.
you're in contact with them, right?
Absolutely.
So our question today is simply this. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're joining me for the first time, this is Andrew E. Guy in the MORNING. Welcome to another episode of I'm Listening, I'm Ready. It's the podcast for those who are on the go, just like my guest today. Hey, Miss Smith says Memphis is on the move.
That's
Podcast
right.
is for those who are on the go. Whether you're traveling by land, air, or sea, you're joining me live with Miss DeQuanda T. Smith. Knowing what you know, compared to what you know now and your experience then, what advice would you give to youth, young men and women, and the general public about pursuing their dreams? Before you start, the only reason why I mentioned that is because I know that you're a founder of the WIB, right? Women in Business.
Yes.
Okay, I know I said it. So I want you to be passionate about the part for the women. Give them something that they can, I'm so glad I tuned in. Hit them up.
Mhm.
So what advice would you give for those people who want to pursue their dreams? Talk to me.
If you want to pursue your dreams, first thing you do is write it down. Nothing can really come to fruition without a plan. You've got to have a plan.
I agree.
Whatever it is that you're passionate about, and let me tell you, it's got to be something that you are passionate about, because then it doesn't become a job, it becomes your dream in action. So make sure that it's something that you are 100% into, and that it's not something that you're going to hand off or pass on to anybody, because this is your puppy. This is your baby.
Yes.
So whatever it is that you're passionate about, you can do it. Write it down. Start making a checklist of the things that need to happen, and then start executing. Every day, check off something new as it relates to it. Not only that, check off something and add something else to that line. So you keep it going. So whatever your dream is, you speak on your dream every day. You take into action something that's going to make your dream come to fruition. You share your dreams with someone and listen to their feedback and start building upon that. Find out where there are needs in your area, that can support your dream. Keep those notes. So it's gonna require some heavy lifting. It's gonna require a lot of work. But I tell you, in the end, you'll appreciate it, because your hands would have built this thing from the ground up. And never stop. Never stop. Even if you get a no every day from someone, never stop. Let those be the stones that you step on and keep going higher. Let those be the building blocks in your foundation to keep going. Find out why you got that no, and figure out how you can turn that no into a yes. If this no is because something was missing from your plan, go back and add it to your plan, and then go back to that no. Let the no's be your strength and your power. Don't be intimidated by receiving a no, because so many no's gets us to a yes. Okay. Just don't stop. Keep going. You can do it.
Listen, you heard it here first. I'm telling you, Memphis is on the move. Miss Smith is on the go, and she just pressed the return button. All right. So let me tell you something. If you're listening to me for the first time, listen, I want you to get out there. I want you to get over to YouTube, hop, fly, jump, whatever you have got to do, and subscribe. We're going to be bringing these kind of conversation to you every single week moving forward. Listen to me. She says so many powerful things, and they're not just cliche. We're talking about an individual here who has taken the steps, who have taken action and made it happen, and still making it happen. One of the things she said this one: as soon as you finish something, don't stop there. Add another one to the list. As you grow, your list grow, because the things that you had yesterday, guess what? It should be bigger today. And another thing that she said, find a need. Let me tell you something. Ladies and gentlemen, youth, women, young men, if you're listening, I want you to get ready. Remember, I'm listening, I'm ready. Whatever your dream is, the reason why it bothers you is because there's a problem you have got to solve. And lastly, whatever the dream is, make sure it's people related and not just things. Right, Ms. Smith? Because
that's right.
You're not going to be stuck in some factory making some kind of product. Every problem is people related. So make sure your problem or the issue that you have to solve is related to people. Why? Because there are about 7.7 billion of us on planet Earth. I am sure you'll find somebody that has a problem. Right?
That's right.
So
that's right.
Excellent advice. Now, Daquanda, I got to ask you, I have to ask you now, what was the game changer for you? What was what started the whole thing? What light, bulb just went off in your head and said, no, this is it. I have got to do this. What was the game changer for you? Tell us, please.
I think the game changer for me was deciding that I was no longer going to let fear win. I was no longer going to be in a corporate box, and find comfort and security there in the corporate world, which I did for many, many years. I worked in television for 20 years. Right. And I decided, you know what? It's time to pull off the training wheels. It's time to pull off the training wheels, and it's time to make my mark. So I stepped out on faith. I prayed this thing all the way up. I stepped out on faith, and I said, I'm creating my own show. I've worked for the television station for 20 years. I'm going to make my own show, and it's going to be great, and I'm going to sell advertisers in it, and it's going to, be financially successful so that it can go on autopilot. I'm just going to do it. I've done this for a company for 20 years. Surely I can invest in myself and put the time and energy and passion into my own product, just as I did theirs. I had the blueprint. Yes. If you've done something for 6 or 8 years, then you should be great at it. And so I said, well, I've done this for 20 years, so surely I can do this on my own show.
Yes.
And so it is just a leap of faith, and you step out there and you do it. You just make it happen, and you don't accept no for an answer. The only option is to be successful.
You know
That's
what?
it.
I love what you're saying, that, if somebody has paid you for doing this thing or whatever that thing is,
Right.
clearly you must be good at it. What does that simply mean? Value. So I did this talk and I did this workshop about what value is. People get this misunderstanding, Daquanda, about value or adding value. Let me bring this speaker in so I can add value to your audience.
Yeah.
I do not believe you can add value to somebody.
Right.
And their head will just turn around. What are you talking about? We've been saying this for 20, 30, 40 years, decades. Yeah, adding value. I said, you don't add value. The person comes with value. Value is extracted. See, the person has that inside of them. They develop themselves. And so you only find value in someone once you tune in and you extract that information,
Right.
like a tea bag, right? The tea is in the bag, but you got to put it in the right environment in a hot water, and it will extrapolate the flavor from the tea. So value, ladies and gentlemen, is not added. It's extracted. And so
That's right.
when your boss is paying you, he's extracting all of your value and paying you not what you're worth, what he thinks you're worth. So you're limited. And Miss Smith said, listen, I stepped out on faith. You know what, Daquanda, one of my favorite movies got to be Indiana Jones and the Last Crusaders.
Okay.
Have you watched that movie? In that movie, there is a part in where it's called Leap of Faith, where he had to jump over this abyss. There was no bottom, nothing. He has to jump. And the part in the book said, you got to believe, boy. And the only way he can get past there is if he stepped out, then guess what happened? The surface appeared under his feet. What simply mean? The surface is not going to appear until you step out. Because when you step out, you will know what's inside of you. And that's exactly what Daquanda is saying. Ladies and gentlemen, step out. That's the only way you're going to know what's in you. When you squeeze the orange juice, you squeeze the orange, whatever comes out. If you got juice in you, you got juice. If you got water, you don't got it. Is it in you? What Gatorade asks. Does that make sense?
That makes perfect sense.
So I love what you're saying. That was a game changer for you. Someone has been paying you for 20 years, and then you said to yourself, wait a minute. Well, if it's good enough for them, then it ought to be good enough for me. Let me invest in myself. So lastly, guys, invest in yourself.
That's right.
All right. So Ms. Smith, this question here, I want you to explain. What's your thought on this particular quote? The quote says, so many people spend their time looking in the rear view mirror instead of in the front windshield on the highway of living. So many people spend all the time looking in the rearview mirror instead of looking in the front windshield when they're on the highway of living. Talk to me. What does that mean to you?
So see, we can't change the things that are in the rearview mirror. We can learn from that, but we can't change that. But the things that lie ahead, we can make a difference because we can choose how we maneuver through them based on what's in the rearview mirror. So if we spend so much time looking back, then that's lost time. That's done. That's over with. It's a wrap with that. But looking forward is where we can make the biggest differences at, the way we can benefit, the way we can help others, the way we can be who we were not in the past. We as people can change moving forward, and we can change situations moving forward. There's opportunity ahead of us. There's no opportunity behind us. That's expired. That's done with. You know, all you can do is be stronger and just kind of pat yourself on the back to keep moving forward from that. That's it. So looking forward is where we have our biggest opportunity, and it's where we reap, the abundance that we're promised, right? And so I'm always looking forward to putting that next foot ahead because there's so much greatness laying down the road waiting for me. That's been promised to me. My faith tells me that there's mountains for me to move lying ahead, and there's an abundance that's waiting for me. So I'm excited about moving forward and looking ahead. I won't look back.
Oh, you know what's exciting? As I said, my background is anatomy and physiology, and we studied biomechanics. And biomechanics talked about the gait pattern. Gait meaning how we ambulate, how we walk, right? And as we study the gait pattern, the first movement, one of the movement is a heel strike. We hit with our heel and then we flat foot, and then after we toe off and then we actually swing through. But there's several other joints have to take place before this movement actually happen. And we always have to move forward with that heel strike, right? Before we can follow through. Love what you're talking about when we saying looking at the rearview mirror. Oh, that's lost opportunity. I would call it lost opportunity,
Right.
and opportunity up ahead, right?
That's
so
right. That's
if you're looking for a cliche word, if you're looking for something, because people play on words nowadays, hence working words, right? So lost opportunity can have no gain. But what I shouldn't say that. Let me retract that. It does not mean it doesn't have any gain, but you have life lessons that you can learn from the lost opportunity and use those as stepping ladders to build for opportunity up ahead. All right? Wonderful insight. Wonderful insight. Now, the next question is simply this. How does the role of taking charge of your own learning shapes our destiny? Taking charge of our own learning, how does that shape our destiny? What says she?
Well, I say that when we take opportunity to, develop ourselves up, we can never stop learning, right? Because we don't have all the answers. We don't know all the answers. So it's up to us to be sponges. The greatest thing any person, manager, leader, CEO can do is surround themselves by people that are smarter than them and not be intimidated by their wits, their knowledge, because those people can pour into you and make you greater.
Yes, indeed.
Whatever your dream is, if you surround yourself with the right people sitting in the right seats on the bus, that's going to make your bus run as smooth as it needs to run. Okay. So never be intimidated or afraid of someone who you perceive may be smarter, may have more, maybe more knowledgeable, because those are the people that you want to be around you, because they will help you grow. They'll spill into you, and there's something that they will learn from you as well. So, but where your perception may be, oh, this person has it all, this person is much smarter than me, they're waiting to be fed into their spirit as well. They're waiting for some nuggets that you have that you have to share. So I'm excited to surround myself by younger people that are more vibrant, that are eager to learn, because the simplest thing that may come out of their mouths is the link that I may have been missing, right? And so as a seasoned person, sure, I'm going to share with them because you want them to become the most successful version of you for the most part. But at the same time, I need their energy so that I can revive, as the veteran. Right? So always put yourself in a position where you can read a new book, where you can learn a new skill, where you can, learn a new piece of knowledge, or even by reading a new poem or experiencing a new piece of art. We can never stop becoming sponges. A sponge is never too full.
That's right. And I like what Bruce Lee said. He said, be empty, my friend. A lot of times we come filled with our own us. And I said us, me, myself, and all of them, right? As they'll say down in the South, and all of them. So me, myself, and us, we are filled. Our bags are filled. And so we're not at a point where we can actually extrapolate. Value cannot be extracted from someone else because we have reached a level of what we call saturation. I'm just using scientific background because that's what I love, right? So I think it's simply that we're saturated in our own thinking that we can't add anything else to us. And the advice that Ms. Smith, Taquanda, is given to you is that, listen, be a sponge. Okay, and be willing to absorb. Another thing that I'm going to add to what she said is that surround yourself with people that are smarter than you. Well, the body naturally does that, Daquanda. For every muscle that's called a longus, that means it's longer. There's also one that's called a brevis. That means it's shorter, right? So when we talk about there's a muscle that's a major, There's also a one that is smaller, and
Yes.
major ones used for lifting, and the smaller ones are used for like balancing and so forth, like small motor, fine motor skills. It's amazing. The body naturally does that. That's
Yeah.
what I'm
Yeah.
excited about. And then the Lord said, you got to write a book to explain to people every joint supply it. And so
Yeah.
that's why it
Yeah.
took me that long. And
Uh-huh.
doing that, I have gained that knowledge. So when I go to speak at conferences and so forth, I said, what's missing in your organization? I said, they're right there. Find the joint. They're there. Let's put them to work, and they will solve
Yes.
your problem. Get them speaking. Get them to give you
Yes.
feedback. Get a whiteboard in your company and give people a dry erase marker.
Yes.
Soon as you
Yes.
come in the morning, before you sit down and get your coffee, right? Get them to write something. Your thought of the day.
The whiteboard is the blueprint.
Do
Yes.
you hear what I'm saying?
Yes.
And I'm getting and they were getting excited. Oh, this is so new knowledge. For me, that, I'm thinking that's a no-brainer. There's a whiteboard right there in the front of my house. Come in the house, boys. I said, what you got? They write stuff on it, on the board. And the board gets dirty after a while because all of the information, right? So now you go in and you pick up, but you have something to work with. You can create a blueprint. If you're a manager, supervisor, whatever you're doing, get a dry erase board in the entrance of your business. Can't see, didn't get that, get some information here, and give every staff a dry erase marker. And as soon as they come in, penny for your thought. And when they put a thought, they drop a penny inside the what? The little jar. At the end of the month, you can get those pennies, collect them, change them out, and turn it into some kind of cash. And then you now go and put whatever you can put towards it. You have fund, so you can create a little pizza party, whatever the case may be. I say, we funded the whole thing. And then you have a plethora of ideas that we can say, okay, such and such add this on such day. This is the date when they add it. And now we have information. The conversation begins, and you're excited.
The innovation begins.
Do you hear what I'm saying? Woo,
the innovation begins. That's right. That's right.
I'm too excited. Let me calm down.
No, it's good, because this is how you create a team of super sellers.
Do you hear what I am saying to you?
If you provide the right climate, the right character,
yes,
a little charisma, creativity, a little care.
Yes.
People that can conceptualize with confidence.
Yes.
That's how you create the power selling team.
Yes. It's amazing. Last year I went to Florida, Orlando, Florida, to speak at Change Management. It's an international, huge conference. We're talking about tens of thousands of people show up. And I was giving this talk, and they were saying, hey, listen, this is what change management is. And a lot of people have a lot of graphs and so forth. And I said, no, change management is not that. They were like, wait a minute, we've been doing this conference for years. We know change management. I said, yes, you do. But the change comes through people. I said, take your mind off the project and focus on the people. And the people is what moved the project. You can come with your stats. You can come with everything else and all the statistics and all these different things. But it does nothing if you don't have buy-in from the people, and you're respecting the people. You're supporting them. Every joint supplies. I said, this is where it is. This is when the rubber meets the wheel. You have to begin with people. That's change management. That's change leadership. It begins with the first P, people, not the product.
That's absolutely right. That the product comes last.
Yes, that's correct. Now, what advice, if any, would you give to people who are like Les Brown, one of my favorite speakers, said, hungry? And that's a Southern term, by the way. Hungry for change. Not just success, because I think people miss it when they talk about success, and you see Tony Robbins, you see all of these different guys are talking about I'm successful and all the different things. Like, no, I'm not talking about what people see on TV, because half of that is not success. That's made up. That's produced success. I'm talking about real success, like yourself. You're doing this for 20 years, and now you're investing in yourself. So what advice would you give people that are listening, the audience that are listening, that are hungry for change, not just to face success? What would you give them to get out of mediocrity, poverty mindset, and make their dreams their reality? What advice? Talk to us.
So we have to become the change that we want to see.
Yes,
We
ma'am.
have to become that. We have to get out and we have to take action.
Yes.
Nothing happens without action. So
Yes.
it's going to require us to actually get out of our comfort zone,
Yes.
make that one phone call that makes us uncomfortable. Being uncomfortable is a good thing.
Yes.
You know,
I
we
agree.
have to allow ourselves to become uncomfortable. Do
Yes.
something that we are afraid of. We
Yes.
have to do it. That's the only way. So
Mhm.
we have to become the change that we want to see. And that means taking action right now.
That's
That
right.
doesn't mean putting it off. Even if it's something like you did, like writing a book, someone is waiting to read your book that you have
Yes.
not written.
Yes.
Someone is waiting to read your foreword.
Yes.
You know, start with the smallest part, get
Correct.
the foreword done. You
Yes.
know, do it in chunks. You know, if it looks like a big task, chunk it out and
Yes.
let's work on phase A. Let's work on phase B. Let's work
Yes.
on phase C. But give yourself a timeline and make it happen. But the first thing you have to do is making this decision to become the change agent. You know, you have to make the decision, I'm going to do it.
Right.
And when you make that decision, you owe it to yourself to see it through.
Yes.
So you have to be committed to yourself
Correct.
and you have to be accountable.
That's correct.
Mhm.
You know, I love it when you said hold yourself accountable, because we can get busy with the to-do list and we're just doing things.
Right.
And as I used to say, we're not done in things, right?
Mhm.
We're busy doing,
Yeah.
but we're not done in, right? I know that's not, the right vernacular, but dunning
No.
means you're not completing
That
things.
means you
Okay.
haven't done it.
It's
Right.
always piling up. And I got all these things on all you have basically is a laundry list. You need to just start washing. Okay. You have a laundry list. You got to start washing. So I want to encourage you, whatever it is that you're trying to get done, commit yourself to getting it done and get around those other people, as DeQuanda said, maybe smarter, who maybe have expertise in certain areas. This is why when I think about my platform where you live, work, and play, this is what we're talking about, helping you to create your greatest impact. And to create your impact, you're going to have to, here's the key word to personal success and development. I'll give it to you in one word. It's called discomfort.
Yep.
If you have never been uncomfortable, then you're not growing.
That's right.
You haven't
That's it.
stepped out. If you're
That's
safe and comfortable in everything that you're doing, DeQuanda, they are not growing and they're not trying.
That's right.
They're not doing it. Everything is comfortable. You got a problem. You need to get a checkup from the neck up. That means as a man or a woman think it, so they are. Something is going on up here that's affecting your legs down here, because your legs, they do the movement. Here do the thinking. You got to get those legs in motion. Get that information past your neck down so you can get moving. I want to encourage
right.
you, ladies and gentlemen. If you're listening to me for the first time, this is Andrew E. Guy on the podcast. I'm listening. I am ready. Listen, it's for those who are on the go. Whether you're traveling by land, air, or sea, this is me in the MORNING. I am in tune and live with my good friend all the way from greater Memphis. You say Memphis is on the move. I'm so excited. And we're talking today. And she's giving so much information that can help you, whether you're male, female, youth, doesn't matter who you are. If you're human, you got to watch this. And if you need more information to find out what's going on for our next guests that are coming up, please tune in, subscribe to us on YouTube. That's Andrew Guy Speaks. Andrew Guy Speaks. I'm out there. Please find us, okay? And so, DeQuanda, guess what?
What's that?
It's time for Think Fire Shoot. It's time.
Okay.
It's time. Think fire, as we say in the South, fire, and shoot.
Fire.
So how it works?
Yes.
I'm going to get, I like to say yes. All right, so before I get into the Think Fire Shoot, let me give you a little bit more about Miss Smith and her accomplishment. So DeQuanda Taylor Robertson, basically, and now Miss Smith, T. Smith, her new last name, okay, as she said, is a graduate of West Memphis High School and received a Bachelor of Arts degree from the University of Memphis, where she is currently Fogelman College of Business as a candidate for an MBA in spring 2019. All right. So in 2018, she founded WIB, that is Women in Business Expo, in celebration of women in changing the outcomes, and leading the way in business and the workforce. Taquanda Smith is committed to her faith and trust in God, family, health, happiness, and helping others. She's also a mother and a wife. That's right. Big shout out to all my wives that are out there or holding down the front, because, you know, behind every man, there is a stronger woman, right? That's what they say, right? So like those muscles, you got to support or surround yourself with somebody better than you. My brother half, better than me. My other fool, I should say, better than me. All right. Smarter, graduated from Mississippi State University, just smart. Okay. So I'm blessed. All right.
Wonderful.
So for you guys out there, please support your spouse. I want to give a big shout out to all those who are married out there, those who are thinking about getting married. Listen, don't rush into the thing. Don't spend millions on the wedding and zero on the marriage. You can spend a few dollars. Hey, I got married in the park. All right. Cost me minimal amount. Okay. Just had a pastor there. We got together, took a few pictures. This is a moment right here. But we spend more money on the marriage of the wedding. So here is it. Not the wedding. Turn the W upside down and say the money in the marriage, not the wedding. Okay.
That's right.
All right. So flip that upside down and you get money in the marriage. And then after a couple of years, you become a winner. Okay.
There you go.
That's all the signs I'm going to throw out today. I'm so excited about what's happening here. When you come here, you know, I'm going to throw down everything. So we're getting ready to wrap up right now. But before we wrap up, it's Think, Fire, Shoot. It's time to think, fire, and shoot. So Ms. Smith, we're getting ready to rock and roll. Are you ready?
I am ready. I think I'm ready.
Are you sure?
I think I am.
All right, now. So I'm going to put on the clock. I'll put on the stopwatch. And then after the stopwatch goes on, then you're going to be summoned. Not many people look forward to this part. I don't know why. It's like, oh, I don't know what to expect. So the clock is right here. See, that's the clock. Okay.
All right.
So you got 15 seconds. 15 seconds. I'm going to say time up. 15 seconds.
Okay.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Taquanda T. Smith from Greater Memphis with Think, Fire, Shoot on this episode of I'm Listening, I'm Ready. Are you ready?
Yes.
All right. So the word, people say, ellipsis. People say. Ready, go.
People say, I'm not ready to start my business yet. I'm afraid. What I say to that is, step out on faith, educate yourself up, find a good mentor, and make it happen.
15.7. Nice. Well said. All right. We reset. We're getting ready to go. Number 2, family and culture, ... Family and culture, ... Go.
Family and culture are probably two of the most important things that you can hang your hat on at the end of the day, because there are two things that will never go away. You're always going to have your family, and your culture would never change. You can only enhance it.
13.9. That's wonderful. She's on fire. The seat is not hot enough. Okay. All right. So we're going to add more words now. So number 3 is background, past, present, future. Background, past, present, future. Go.
So my background, which is, basically my past, can change and shape the way that my future looks. But right now, I have to make a difference to become better than who I was in my past so that I can be better in my future.
Well, she went over a little bit there, ladies and gentlemen, but it was good. It was good.
That was a long one.
All right. Hey, listen now. And the last one, a word is, the series of words are determination, will, guts, obstacle, failure, who cares? Ready? Determination, will, guts, obstacle, failure, who cares? Ready? Go.
Because you will still win. Once you go through those chain of words, you're a winner on the other side.
I love it.
You're a winner on the other side.
I love it. She didn't have to go through any of this. And listen, let me just let's skip the minutia, and you're a winner. If you made it that far, Listen,
won.
you are a winner. Ladies
That's right.
and gentlemen, listen, the conversation was amazing. Conversation here was amazing. Of course, we went past our 30 minutes, but I tell you what, when the conversation is this great and talking to great individuals like this, it's gonna happen, okay? I want to give you this time that you can say to our audience, just plug what you do, where they can find you, anything that you have that you want to offer them, where they can get it. This is your time. Go, take it away. Go ahead.
Well, you can find us at www.memphisonthemove.com, and you can see all of our past episodes. We're excited about the possibility of even having Andrew on our show soon. So just look for us at memphisonthemove.com. You can send us a note or suggestion there. We're excited. We're excited to hear from you.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, you heard it here first. You heard it here first. Please go and check out Memphis on the Move. That means you have got to get up and move. We're all about movement. You know, that's what we do. Anatomy and physiology, we say what? Motion is lotion, okay? You've got to get moving, get this done. I am so excited about this conversation here. Can't wait for the team to get it in the production room and get it out there so you can get this information. I'm so thankful. I want to say a big thank you to Mr. Wanda Smith. I'm thanking her for her time, her effort, and the knowledge and wisdom that she threw down today. I'm excited. I'm looking forward to further collaborating with her in the future and anything that we can do to help her out. As a matter of fact, I'm going to be putting a book in the mail for you. So please email me an address so I can send you a copy of Work Your Words, because you've got to have a copy, and I'll personally sign it myself, okay? This is just as a thank you for allowing us to have this moment with you, all right? So take care of yourself, and you have yourself what do we call a super fantastic day.
Remarkable. Thank you, Andrew.
You're very, very welcome. Until then, take care, okay?
All righty. I'll speak with you soon.
All right. Take care. Bye.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Listen, I am so excited for being here, hanging out with you, and sharing this moment with Wanda. Listen, we had an amazing conversation. If you haven't signed up, get over there to YouTube and subscribe to Andrew Guy Speaks and listen to us, download our podcast, Ready to Rock and Roll. And if there's anything that we can do for you, Wanda, please let us know. I'm looking forward to come to Memphis. I don't know, maybe you have an expo, you might want a speaker to come down and say something in a different accent or something. I don't really care.
Sure, we'd love to. We'd love to have you. You're always welcome in Memphis.
I've never stopped. I've just been driving through Memphis to get to Arkansas. I've never really stopped. I hadn't had a reason.
Oh, wow.
I need a reason because Memphis is on the move. And
that's right. We'll have to come up with a reason to get you on the move. Even if we have you on the show in Memphis, we've got to get you.
We have to do this. So what I want to do is simply this. I want to give you this time that you can say to our audience, just plug what you do, where they can find you, anything that you have that you want to offer them, where they can get it. This is your time. Go, take it away. Go ahead.
Well, you can find us at www.memphisonthemove.com, and you can see all of our past episodes. We're excited about the possibility of even having Andrew on our show soon. So just look for us at memphisonthemove.com. You can send us a note or suggestion there. We're excited. We're excited to hear from you.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, you heard it here first. You heard it here first. Please go and check out Memphis on the Move. That means you have got to get up and move. We're all about movement. You know, that's what we do. Anatomy and physiology, we say what? Motion is lotion, okay? You've got to get moving, get this done. I am so excited about this conversation here. Can't wait for the team to get it in the production room and get it out there so you can get this information. I'm so thankful. I want to say a big thank you to Ms. Wanda Smith. I'm thanking her for her time, her effort, and the knowledge and wisdom that she threw down today. I'm excited. I'm looking forward to further collaborating with her in the future and anything that we can do to help her out. As a matter of fact, I'm going to be putting a book in the mail for you, so please email me an address so I can send you a copy of Work Your Words, because you've got to have a copy, and I'll personally sign it myself, okay? This is just as a thank you for allowing us to have this moment with you, all right? So take care of yourself, and you have yourself what we call a super, super fantastic day.
Remarkable. Thank you, Andrew.
You're very, very welcome. Until then, take care, okay?
All righty, I'll speak with you soon.
All right, take care. Bye.
Okay, bye-bye.
Until next time, keep listening, live ready, talk soon.